What's up, everybody? It's Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Elite Dangerous. I can't help it. Every time I say it that way, it always makes me think of Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. So anyways, when we left off in the last episode, we had arrived here, which is one of these systems that it's like, you know, the names are kind of funky at this point, so what's the point? Basically, I thought we would end up in a nebula, which I guess we kind of are. I was actually told that the nebulas can be seen more, predominantly. Where am I looking, by the way? I'm trying to find... There's another star in this area. Okay. Need to go this way along the line. There we go. But from what I've been told is if you go away from the main... Alright, forget this. Let me just target it. I cannot find this thing. If you move away from the main star, basically, that you're supposed to be able to see the nebula a bit more, so we're going to try that right quick. But I also have a different course plotted out. I have two things kind of that I'm thinking I want to do this episode. So the first is seeing if we can get a better angle on a nebula, because I really haven't seen one up close, only in the maps. Oh, I guess you kind of seen it now, so that is probably true, that if you're further away from the main star, I guess... I'm not positive, but I guess that's because the suns or the stars kind of like blocking your view, like kind of like looking into a light bulb. Or looking right at the sun. Everything else looks really dark because you're looking at the light straight ahead of you. Yeah, okay, this is kind of cool. That is a really bright star, actually, though. Whew. And you know, I said in the end of the last episode that really wasn't that different. It is now that I'm looking at it. When you look at it up close, it looked like just another blue one, but it actually looks a little purpley now that I'm looking at it at a little bit of a distance, and it's much brighter than what I'm used to seeing too. So yeah, there's the kind of nebula cloud looking thing. That's kind of cool. Alright, so we can scratch that off the Elite Dangerous bucket list. We have seen a nebula now, albeit a small one, but that's a really cool star. I like the lighting and everything. That's really neat. While I get up to speed here, let me pull this up. I have another place that I have charted to go to as well, up here in the Snake sector. This one is actually a star I can't scoop from, but it looks like it might be a little bit more of a red. See how these are kind of like that orangey, like where you see this. This looks like it might be a bit more of a red, and it's a smaller one because, or it's not at least the class that you can. It's not the class that you can fuel from, so I think those have to be a certain size, and the smaller ones are the ones that you can't get close enough to them to fuel scoop off of them. So, yeah, we're gonna do that though and see where that goes. So, this is actually a pretty interesting place. This is the system before the one that I wanted to go to. Which, yeah, this is actually kind of interesting. It does have two stars in it, obviously, or at least two. I don't know if there's more than that or not. But it's kind of cool because you've got the main scoopable, kind of typical yellow star going on, but then there's like another red one over here, which is kind of cool. Let me see, what else is there? So the nearest thing is 120. That's not too far. I didn't think I actually said, but the other thing that I kind of wanted to do this episode was I would like to do some ground exploring on planets or moons or whatever. So we'll keep these in mind, because they're not that far, and we could totally jump over and scan them or whatever. But I do want to see this other place and see if it's interesting at all. Let's just go down like this. There we go.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Fuel scoop was apparently engaged that whole time. That's funny. So yeah, because on the systems that you haven't been to, or at least the data is not known to you, it doesn't seem like you can pull up and see what planets are in there. You have to like get into the system, pop your discovery scanner, and then it'll show you what's what on the system map. So I have no idea what kind of planets that are landable are in this system, if any, so we know that if we don't have any, we'll be able to go back to that one we just left. And admittedly, this is a little bit disappointing, because on the map that looked a little different than normal stars. No, wait, it said it found multiple things, so why are multiple things not showing up? That's new. Huh? Okay, is it just my imagination, or did it actually say 4 new objects? That's weird. That is rather odd. Huh. How about this one? That's a scoopable. Let's check that one out. Yeah, this was a little bit of a bust. That's weird. I'll have to go back and check that in editing when I edit the video and stuff, because I could have swore when I just did... Well, actually, I could just look at the panel, couldn't I? If I could get it to come up. No? Why can't I get the info panel to show up? Eh, well, whatever. But yeah, I could have swore when I used my discovery scanner, it came up and said 4 new astronomical objects. And on the system map, it was just the stars and some asteroids. And it was kind of like, wait a minute. Ooh, you're a little different. I have seen these before, but they're still kind of cool. Ooh, 18. Anything close? No. Ugh. Not close. They're not super far, don't get me wrong, but it's not like, hold on for like 5 seconds while I jump over to this planet. Let's see what we got, though. If anything's worth noting. It's very interesting. They're all like kind of the same kind of color. Whoa! Didn't mean to go that far. I'm still learning that sound cue thing, but I'm fairly... That one might be a metal. That might be a metal planet. I'd kind of like to get one a little bit closer, though. See, like this? Ooh, okay. Here's one. Like, when you compare to all these other ones... Wait, have I been here? No. Okay. But when you compare to all these other ones, like this one, this is kind of that orangey, this is kind of orangey. Even this is a little bit... But then, like, that's kind of a pinky. And then this is like a red, but then when you get there, it kind of looks the same as all the rest of them. Actually, let's try this. Because to be honest, I think I've had those bright red ones kind of be the same as always, but I don't know that I've ever actually seen one of these pinkish looking ones. I could have. I could have and just don't remember it.
Fuel scooping complete.
I found I really like that fuel scoop because if I go full throttle and just kind of stay with the arc of the star, I can very easily fill up within reason. You know, you're not going to fill up your whole tank like that really quick, but like you saw, if it's 1 or 2 jumps down and you're just topping yourself off kind of thing, you can just kind of ride the arc at full speed and you'll pick up like a ton of fuel that way. It's a little less convenient than being able to just sit and refuel. That I use for more like I'm on E, but if I'm just topping off, you can get more before you overheat that way, so... Yeah, see, like, this does not look red to me. Wait, was this a multi-jump? No, it's not a multi-jump. See, 7 new astronomical objects. I haven't even scanned anything yet. There's 2, so we should have 9. And then on the map, we have 3. It's like, what the... How does this work? And they're not landable. But see, I don't get that, because wait. Oh wait, no, I didn't go to the red one. I went to the pink one, didn't I? I'm confused now, because that doesn't look pink. Oh, it's probably from all the lines. All the lines are probably changing the color up. Do we want to go up or down at all, maybe? I am hoping that the more, the further away we get, the more break up the monotony we'll run into. Does that make sense? Let's see. Let's try this one again. Ooh. This is a 2-star, looks like. So we have a red and a pink. That should be interesting. Cause yeah, I have seen a lot of these star types and things. Now granted, I haven't done a lot on the ground or whatever. So there's still quite a bit that I'm sure I've never run across before. Never found those like alien artifacts, all that kind of stuff. But it is a little like, okay, let's, you know, where's the new stuff? Where's the, to boldly go where no man has gone before kind of thing? Like, where's the, you know, that kind of thing. So I am kind of looking forward to that as far as, like, when do we get to that point where you start seeing the mysterious and the distant stuff that isn't around your normal, area, or is it all just kind of rehashes of the same thing? Okay, there's one. Where's the other star? Unfortunately, with systems like this, you have no idea. Like, it could be hundreds of thousands. Actually, it's probably this one right here is the other star, I would imagine. Doesn't give you a distance. Oh, and none of these are landable. And I'm sorry, that doesn't look pink. That's like white. It's cool, you know, but it's like white. So the galaxy map thing, I don't think gives you the proper representation of how that looks. A lot of you may already have been aware of that and been like, no, don't go off of that. But, ooh. What's that? Oh, okay, that's... I saw those galaxies out there, and I was like, wait, can I go out there? And there's nothing out here, right? Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, that freaked me out for a minute. I was seeing all that stuff, and I was like, ooh, that's cool. Wait a minute, where am I? Oh, that's where I had a marker set a long time ago. Okay. I was like, wait, am I going the wrong direction? I can't help it. Every time I do that scale way out and zoom back in, I just, you know, the scale of the game just hits me like a brick. Okay, that one I can at least scoop from. So let's try that. At this point, since the one I had planned to go to originally was a bust, I'm kind of just looking for another system that has some kind of planet that's landable, or a moon or something, because I would like to mess around with that a little bit this episode. Just to, again, it could get kind of boring to just look at the same type of star all the time. So I would like to mess around with that a little bit and land and see if we can find some stuff just to kind of give you something new. But alright, let's see what we got here. Got some things that are close by. Let's see what they are. Nothing landable. Dagnabbit. Wait, did you scan this? No, you did not. Wait for it. I'm trying to wait for it to get done with its scan before I switch targets, because that seems to mess it up. Okay, now I need to make sure I'm headed towards the same direction. I don't want to go backwards. And it is a little unfortunate that when you're out in the uncharted waters kind of thing, you can't use the system map to see what's going on. That one kind of has a little bit of a greenish hue to it, doesn't it? Let's check that out. Let's see what that one does. And I can scoop off of that one too, so if I change my mind, I can go from there. So, let's see what's out here. So yeah, I do get concerned about that though, often, is how to keep things fresh and not like redundant and doing the same thing all the time. Because it is a little different as a player versus a video maker or content creator, whatever you want to call it. You know, when you're just playing a game, it's only up to you. You're not really as worried about, you know, if you're having fun and you're not bored, then whatever. When you're trying to do content stuff, that's a little bit more, you're a little bit more focused on making sure that what you're doing is, you know, something entertaining. Hence why I stayed in combat for so long, and I might go back to that soon or something if I'm just not having as much fun as I expected with this or something. Ooh, that was weird. Huh. Now that's interesting. Because usually stars are like out on their own I guess it's if they're their own, not system, but their own orbit pattern, I guess. Maybe that's the verbiage I'm looking for. Okay, so there's nothing landable in here though, so when that gets done scanning... Alright, so I tell you what, I was really expecting to find something a little bit sooner than this, so let me poke around a little bit and see what I can find. Well, this has been an interesting set of situations. So... I probably should have been recording some of this, but it would have been really derpy, but I'm gonna basically tell on myself anyway. So I dropped into this system, which I do think has a planet we could explore. Well, it's got a couple, but only one I'm interested in. And I started to do fuel scooping, and I pulled an Icarus and literally flew too close to the star, or sun. Pulled me out of Super Cruise and did an emergency stop, but then I started overheating. Went through the process of using my handy-dandy auto field maintenance and repaired my ship. Came back out of it, then I got, between the build-up and everything, I ended up basically getting heat damage because you're trying to charge up your frameshift drive while you're, you know, next to a sun. And so it ends up like making a mess of things.
Module repaired.
But then I was like, okay, well, while I'm on my way over to this planet that's, you know, it's 850 light seconds, so I've got a minute. I'll go ahead and do some repairs. So as I was flying away, I repaired my thrusters, which pulls me out of Super Cruise and then basically made me kind of like emergency stop break things again. So, you know, kind of been derping it up over here a little bit. I'm actually going to set this to this point and see what happens. See if I can coast for a minute. So yeah, note to self, you can repair stuff, but don't do that while in Super Cruise mode when your thrusters are the ones in question. Don't do that. I am glad that I have these auto field maintenance things though. These are pretty cool because as you can see, like if for some reason you haven't, some of you that are watching haven't done this before, with an auto field maintenance, you have the option to repair things, not just turn them on and off, which is really kind of cool. And you can, like this, you can repair each other, but you can't. I now get the reason for having two, because you can't repair the auto field maintenance because these things have to be shut down to repair them. So it's like, okay, I'm kind of getting why that's a thing, if you will. One thing before we get too close, I want to repair the planetary hangar. I don't think you can mess with the approach suite. I think it's just the hangar. Everything else, I don't think I can repair the power plant in Super Cruise. Everything else should be available to be repaired, so let's go ahead and take it in. I'll take it, I'll repair it once I set down. One thing I am curious about is my system power on the left. You can see it's kind of like not there. And my heat sinks both say low power. But what I don't know is why, because it was there a second ago and some system that I repaired like disabled it kind of thing. And I'm not entirely sure what it was that I did that did that, but I was gonna say I might want to check the system map to see what this says about the planet, but then it's kind of like, meh, I've kind of already decided I'm gonna land here, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. One thing that's a little different with this is we're not planning on targeting a spot, though I do think I want to keep it on the light side of the planet. So, without having a specific target, this is going to be a little bit different than my prior landings, because essentially I'm just going to coast in and land rather than trying to kind of pick a spot. Okay, let's level it off a little bit here. And I do love that they actually added the G-force thing, that if you're going a certain way, you're kind of like what are they, blacking out basically. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Oh, wrong button. All right, dropping the landing gears. Let's just descend. I'm using my vertical thrusters to just descend at the moment. Actually, let's just go nose down for a second here. Oh, I can only go so fast with my landing gears down. That's what was going on there. I need to get low enough. Where's the radar should change here in a second. What height is that? Alright, whatever. I'm gonna put my gears down now.
Landing gear deployed.
Well, that worked, I guess. I don't remember Oh, okay. I just had kind of crashed. That's what was going on. I was like, I don't remember how to do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and repair some stuff.
Module repaired.
Oh, that one's fine. Can I not repair my power plant? I really thought
Module
I could.
repaired.
I can't recall if the power plant was something that I've never repaired either time. I thought I repaired it last time. Maybe I didn't.
Module repaired. Module repaired.
Okay.
Module repaired. Module repaired.
I do like that while you're repairing the life support, it goes to the... I love the little details of, like that in this game. Okay, what else we got? Fuel scoop. Cargo
Module
hanger.
repaired. Module repaired.
I don't even know why I bother repairing the cargo hanger, or cargo hatch, because it's not like I'm using
Module
it for anything.
repaired.
Okay, so other than our power plant, which it doesn't let me disable, now I have heard you can do this reboot thing. Reboot and repair. I'm going to try that, but I don't know if that repairs power plants, or I don't actually know. I'm not going to do that because I feel like I remember somebody telling me that that just repairs up to functional level. But it doesn't, like this where it's 97, it doesn't repair that. Okay, so now that we've got that squared away, we've got our 2 SRVs. So let's go ahead and deploy one of them. And I gotta admit, I'm just fiddle-farting around. I don't really know how planetary exploring works, but I figured I can do it. And we've been flying around just looking at stars for a bit, so just driving around a little on a planet's surface might be fun. I gotta remember how the controls work, though. I did set up the Ooh, low gravity warning. Now, I don't remember. Does the SRV have module not functional, increased distance from... Oh, okay, let's... Okay, it has vertical. But I don't think it has, I don't think it has upward vertical. It doesn't have downward vertical thrusters. Because I was thinking if I fly too high off the thing, can I push myself back down or something, but... So I'm thinking we'll just use the little scanner thing and just see what we got going on out here. Now here's an interesting question. I have not done enough with the SRVs to know. Sorry, I'm trying to watch my little radar thing and see if there's anything interesting going on. But the fuel system, like if I get low on fuel, it refuels my Scarab when I dock with the ship, I think, and then when the ship refuels. So basically I can keep refueling my Scarab is what I'm getting at, I think. I'm sorry, it always sounds like a Geiger counter to me. With the little radar scanner, it's always like... It's like, Captain, we've got radiation levels. But I do definitely have something over here. I don't know what it is, but I'm picking something up. Because I'm getting... It's narrowing and it's getting a little bit more precise, so... Woo! Don't do that. And I'm going to apologize in advance for my horrible driving. I'm still getting used to how these controls work. Ooh, we do have something here. What are you? Outcrop. Not gonna lie, I don't remember what button I had set up for... That's the data link thing. That's not gonna do anything, right? I don't know what that did. Mwah. Okay, let me get a handle on the controls because I don't remember what my turret button is. Okay, there it goes. I found it. So now... There we go. Now how do I pick this stuff up? Like, shouldn't I have... I was just in the camera...
Handbrake is on.
Well, thank you. I was just in the...
Cargo
thing.
scoop deployed.
Iron. Ah, okay, so we picked up iron. That's fairly cool. Why am I not picking that? Do you have to actually target it? If so, that's kind of weird. To actually, if you're driving over it, it should just be picking it up anyway. Which reminds me, I don't even have my targeting system set up correctly here, I don't think. Yeah, you do. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's my ship. I was like, ooh, that's a green one. What is that? Huh! What do you know? Phosphorus cartographics discovered. That's interesting.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Iron. So this is all storing... Ooh, SRV refuel. So I need sulfur and phosphorus to refuel. Now, like I said before, do I have to do this? Or is this, like, just so that I can keep driving? Oh, there it goes. Why wouldn't it... Oh! Was it... I don't know why this wouldn't fire before. That's kind of weird. Because I clicked that button, and it didn't do anything. Oh, that looked like a spike. I can't... Oh, I'm still learning how to read this thing. Let's just go this way. Because reasons. Whee! Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is pretty fun to do, actually. Especially knowing I've got another one that I can use. Now, another curiosity I have...
Chassis integrity compromised.
Chassis integrity compromised? I have 100%. What are you talking about? Hull structure? Is that what we're talking about? Huh. What's NA? Fuel tank. Okay. Whee. Can you just shoot random rocks? Oh, there's actually ammo. That's unfortunate. I thought this was a laser. Whoops. I wonder how I... Wait, is it? 1970. Now let's see if that goes up at all. Not seeing it, so it's probably a... It's probably a reload thing. Whee! Yeah, this is a fun little dune buggy thing to drive around in. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa now. It is a little bit crazy and can kind of get away from you. I think we're narrowing this a little bit again. Picking up something. This reminds me of Sahara. Woo! This is not good. I don't really want to be going sideways. did I miss? There's something I passed over here. Oh, it's another rock, I bet. Okay. Oh, now it'll fire. Jerk. Okay, is the turret using the same... Yes, it is. Okay, so that doesn't really do any different. It's just for better aiming, then. But yeah, it reminds me of the movie Sahara with, Matthew McConaughey and Steve Zahn with the whole, where are we going? I don't know, but we're making great time. It's kind of what I was thinking. It's like you're flying over the dunes of this random planet, and it's like, you know, where are we going? No idea, but it's really fun and really fast to drive around all over the place.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Wow. It is weird a little bit. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but there is a little bit of a weird driving mechanic where it's like, if the tire catches something that it... Okay, so like what I'm getting at is... Ooh, I'm hurting my little buggy here. What I'm getting at is there's things that it can seem to pass through and not have any effect on, and then there's other things where it's like you're catching nothing, you're like the middle of the air, but you barely tap something and it like pulls your wheel and you go like flying or spinning, you know, that kind of thing. That it's a little, I don't know, inconsistent, I guess, and it's hard to figure out what makes the thing go crazy and what doesn't. At least for me, that's all a me thing. Like, I'm sure there's some people that are, you know, Fast and the Furious and, like, drifting and doing all kinds of stuff. Whee! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you roll your SRV. I just wanted to show you. I know a lot of people have been curious about that. That's how you do it. Woo! You know, that's another way. If you want to do it another way, you know, you can also do it like that. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna call it quits for this episode. For today, I may call my ship over and have it pick me up. How about let's get up over this ridge. How about that? Well, maybe. That's one of those things where it might be a lot farther than it looks. Whee! Yeah, that might be a little bit further than I initially thought when I made that statement. Whee! Wow, we went high. Oh, look at that. We're awesome drivers. Totally not. Okay, how do I... There it is, recall ship. Alright, so I'm gonna have it come pick me up. And then I think we're gonna wrap things up here for this episode. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.